Hi, my name is Ken Fu. I'm coming from Oracle Cloud Native team.
Hi, my name is Genesis Hernandez, and I'm a software engineer at Lyft.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the CloudWorld, and thank you for your time joining us. So when you see this title, right, how Lyft migrate 400 terabyte Amazon Redshift financial data warehouse. So top of your head, you must be thinking why and the business value. So today we are so excited to share with you the story and the journey. Um, Hi, Genesis. Can you talk about your team, what exactly your team does, and also share with us exactly your experience with Redshift and the challenges you have?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm a software engineer on the corporate solutions data engineering team. Our team is responsible for managing a suite of financial and corporate data products that ultimately enable us to have timely delivery of fully accurate financial information for key financial and accounting reports using automated systems. Our team ensures that impactful decision making for Lyft can happen with trusted data. As Ken mentioned, Lyft is in the process of changing our financial and enterprise application landscape. We had historically relied on various Amazon Web Services to manage our data platforms. Redshift, for example, was used as both a data lake and a data warehouse at Lyft. This was a logical decision for us at the time, given our investment in other Amazon Web Services. However, over the years, we had to spin up multiple Redshift instances across the company to meet our data needs. And ultimately, we had several significant disruptions to our workflows whenever there was a Redshift outage. In fact, in Q3 and Q4 of 2020, we had several multi day outages, which impacted users and executives across Lyft. These challenges prompted us to revisit our data warehousing strategy, and after much deliberation, we decided to move forward with Oracle ADW. Ken, can you share a little bit more about Oracle ADW and why it was the right tool for Lyft?
Well, thank you, Genesis. Thank you, Live, confident on Oracle ADW. Um, so in the last 40 years, Oracle has the same mission. We like to provide a new technology, new platform, so that they help you see the data, not in a new simple way. Discover new insight, unlock new opportunity to drive your business income. Um, yeah, Oracle Autonomous Data Warehouse is fully optimized and fully automated. It's a new data platform in the cloud. The goal is to try to make this new data platform simple, complete, secure, and then for your workload, regardless you're running a departmental data mart or enterprise data warehouse or a data lake. So try to imagine yourself like very simple environment on a data warehouse, so that and everything Oracle Imagine can manage in terms of automate the tuning, the patching, the securing, the backup. So we don't need to do any more customer administration. It also is so fast. You only provision in just a minute. In a day one, you have a three more, 3x CPU give it to you, and no worry about handle the high content support. You can run your ETL and the query at the same time. And also so elastic. I mean, and definitely your CTO will love it, just because you can just scale as as minimal as only one CPU, and there'll be no downtime on it. And you also want your data warehouse also so converged as well too, because nowadays the data come in any size, it come in fast, and they also come in all different data type. You just don't want to create a different database for different type, and ADW can put all of them into one databases. And of course, without all the comprehensive tools right here, you're not able to complete the picture, right? So you see all the development tool, data tools, and also the monitor tool. They're just cognitive design, and you can easily launch them from a web browser. Now, speaking of socks, right? Is all nerve wracking. It's just like your parent checking your homework. So in US, all those public trading company, they are mandated to attest their financial information or data to be accurate, complete, and secure. Among the SOX, Fox 44 is the most complicated one, but ADW have make it easy and fast. So every year you probably get interviewed by your audit team. The question they say, can you provide us your policy how to do your data security? I say sure, because we can define a policy from a database wall, and you can define a very fine-grained access control, and you can even not able to let your your admin or super user to access your information and your data. You can control who can do data changes, who cannot, including external, internal network access as well. We also have data safe, and it will automatically detect your sensitive data and recommend a reduction technique for you. We also get the other question like, can you provide some user access, how you're making Oracle changes in our database? And we have Oracle Data Safe. Yeah, Oracle Data Safe pretty much all you need to manage your ADW security. So Oracle Data Safe will monitoring all the database changes and activity. It will give you like 7-year retention period, and it will also like detect any asset anomaly so that you can do the action fast. So when your audit team asking you, some report, or from SOX compliance, that would be pretty easy, because Oracle Audit Wall is also come with those built-in compliance report, so you can be very easy and handy hand over to them. The question also like coming from them very common and say, can you provide some evidence doing some backup or patching? Yeah, it's easy, because like ADW will do the daily backup for you. The question is, sometimes they ask you, say, hey, if your database go down, are you able to continue your business? Well, absolutely, because we can create a standby database across the region, and anytime it can just fail over. Also, security is the Oracle DNA thing. Oracle will do the patching, the critical and security fixes for you automatically, and there will be no downtime on it. Now, Ken, this is so great, right? But how do we start the ADW, right? I mean, if you already have a database, how do you plan your migration? What kinds of approach you would take? So I'm going to let Genesis to share her experience with you. Hi, Genesis.
Thanks, Ken, for that overview. I'm going to focus the next couple of slides on how our team actually approached the migration process. To start, I'm going to go over the key questions that guided our planning and execution process. The first question, how do we break down the problem? Migrating a data warehouse with over 400 terabytes of data in it and over 300 active workflows running in it on a daily basis is a significantly large task. At Lyft, we use service tiers to denote the priority of a workflow or data set, and the priority is ultimately determined by the impact the data has and who the end customer is. These already defined service tiers offered a natural way for us to delineate between the workflows we had and create a clear order of prioritization. One key thing I'd like to point out is that although we started with lower tier workflows in our migration, our approach was to tackle the second most important tier directly after the lowest one. This would help us identify any issues with scale before we started migrating the top tier workflows. The second question, what tools should we use? Our goal was to create a migration framework that could be easily adopted by any data engineer at Lyft. Our data engineers know Airflow and Python fairly well, and as I mentioned before, we had already invested in various Amazon Web Services, so we decided to use S3 as an intermediary step in our migration process. The final question, what are the risks and failure scenarios? Obvious risks would be disruption to P0 workflows, loss of data, lower data quality or availability. This also leads us to ask, how do we ensure that only the right people get access to our data without losing the visibility we currently have with Redshift? I'll be going into more detail in the subsequent slides. To start, I'm going to give a high-level overview of our migration process. Our team developed a configuration-based Airflow platform that would take a CSV file as input and generate a suite of migration Airflow DAGs. This CSV file consisted of basic table metadata, such as table name and table schema. For the migration framework, we developed custom Airflow operators to handle unloading the data from Redshift to S3. leveraging the Redshift API. The second custom operator we developed was responsible for copying the data from S3 to Oracle ADW. This operator leverages Oracle's database management system cloud package to manage credentials and to copy from S3. Ken, can you move on to the next slide? Thank you. Now that we were unblocked in moving the data, we now had to ask ourselves, how do we validate this migration process? So this is particularly important for our team because a lot of our tables are used in financial reporting. We needed to validate the migration process in order to meet SOX compliance. Because of this requirement, we developed the second framework. This is also a configuration-based framework, and it performs two main checks on the data sets. It performs a completeness check, which checks that each unique record is accounted for in both origin and destination data store. And the second is an accuracy check that goes through every field of a random sample of records and confirms that it's identical in both origin and destination. We can go to the next slide, Ken. As I mentioned before, we also wanted to make sure that we mitigated any risks, in particular around security and access. We were very lucky that Oracle offered two in-house solutions for us, one being the database vault, which meant that we could use role-based access to protect our data, and the second being data safe, which meant that any action in the database would be logged and auditable by our team. The final challenge that we had was making sure that our data availability stayed the same. At Lyft, we primarily relied on Mode for data visualization, and at the time of our migration, Mode did not offer a connection to Oracle ADW. This meant that all of our reports that currently relied on Redshift would no longer be available once the data had migrated to Oracle ADW. In order to unblock the migration, we brought teams together from Mode and from Oracle and successfully developed a new connection type, such that now we actually have a majority of our reports living in or pointing to ADW rather than Redshift. And I'll hand it over to Ken to talk about the SOX compliant solution blueprint.
Yeah, thank you for Genesis. I think it's a great work. It's my honor working with you. Yeah, it's a great team. Thank you so much. So for Lyft, we not only migrated Redshift data, but we also consolidate and unify the other data as well too. So when you build your data warehouse platform, right, you really expect your business and user to use your data, confident and without double checking their worksheet or from the source system. So your data has to be complete, accurate, and have to be secure. The data doesn't have to come from one service provider. It can come from a different service provider. So we bring in your ERP data, your back office data, the financial data, and the supply chain. And also we combine them with your rideshare data, your driver, your rider, your transaction. And then we unify and consolidate them into a one single unified platform. So that the goal is really give you a 360-degree or holistic view of your customer, your partner, and also your financial performance. The goal is really to maximize your bottom line. So for every piece of information we bring in, if they are really relational native, we're going to store in the ADW, and then we create policy to protect it. So every data natively they are encrypted. With the policy, we provide access control, like Genesis mentioned, right? So we want to make sure the right information is going to the right people. And for all those sensitive data, like the PCI data, PI data, we provide a data reduction, make sure with the right people can see them. So the Oracle ADW really based on the zero trust model, meaning like we just don't trust anything. Now for the data, they are not really like Oracle or like relational native. Then we put in object storage, and also you can have the data coming from different cloud storage as well too, like the S3 that what we've been doing. Now, by now, you should be really excited because we have all this data combined and unify them, all together. And can you imagine how much new business insight, new opportunity, and you can discover over there, right? So can you really imagine like if um, so the user really take your data and do some kind of pricing optimization. Yeah, when you open the when you open up the app and looking at how much it would cost me from my home to airport, and that is the data really coming from, right? And because pricing really impacting your revenue bottom line, and also need to be competitive, right? And you can also really using to do a revenue forecasting, by time, by location, so that you can very easy to mobilize your resources. And nowadays, AI, ML just everywhere, right? So you can definitely deploy some of the built-in, data science application like anomaly detection, so that your company or business can react fast. And like the business analysts, like Genesis mentioned, they use the mode doing all the time of an ad hoc insight, so you can find out the top rider or top driver, so you can offer them some bonuses, incentive packages, right? So to drive more business. So if today you really ask your customer or ask this Lyft business and say, "Where's my data store?" and they will say, "Autonomous data warehouse." I mean, this answer is like really like sounds to me is really simple, but I think like there's a critical message and also really inspired me as well too, because without a second thought, the user think, "Hey, you know what? ADW is one and only one place I will look for my data and whenever I need it." So that they like to use it, they have the confidence to use it because you make it accurate, you make it complete and secure. So how do we end this statement? We have the ADW deployed to live since 2021, and by now we have no downtime, performance security issue, and we passed the SOX quick and easy. Um, and right now, Genesis team, really have to 100% focus on building pipeline and business insight. Correct, Genesis? I think right now, I don't think your team has done any, custom management like you used to do in Amazon Redshift. Correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's
Yeah.
been really great.
Yeah, and data right now is self-serve, because right now, data catalog, so all the users they can just, look at the catalog and what kind of, data they like to do. Yeah, Genesis team also doesn't have to build any big bill because, her team right now can do a lot of BigQuery and building big data model without worrying about exactly how much it's going to cost them, at the end of the month. Um, and this is the business where we're talking about here, right? So her team is able to give us a better solution, but only half the cost. So that's totally fantastic. So Lyft is not the only one out there, and I'm sure there are lots of great story, great experience. The other company does. So I just hope you're one of them, and if you have any great story and a great journey, just share with us. So don't let's stop here. If you have not tried ADW yet, just go and sign up a free account. Right now, Oracle ADW offer a one CPU for free. Or also you can check out some of the live lab and training. I'm sure there's a lot of cool stuff over there can enhance your experience.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. My name is Genesis again, and here's my email in case anyone would like to reach out. Ken, would you like to say a final few words?
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. The time joining us. Thank you, Genesis, as well too. So here's our email address. Please feel free to email us. Any additional information you want. Thank you so much.